Don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to get more sleep or to eat better or to exercise, although those are all great tips for life, let alone handling depression. I'm going to tell you some less common, less obvious. I hope they're less common and obvious to you so this video can be more helpful on ways that I manage my depression. My name's Kyle Kittleson. I'm the host at MedCircle. Over the last 5, maybe even 6 years now, I have had the privilege of interviewing the best minds in mental health. Doctors like Dr. Ramani, Dr. Christy Lamb, Dr. Judy Ho, Dr. Dominic Sportelli, Dr. Shafali, the list goes on, Dr. Thuslam, Dr. Suvarma, Dr. Judith Joseph. I love all of our doctors, and I've learned so much from all of them. There are tried and true measures for treating depression, like cognitive behavioral therapy or antidepressants. But in this video, I'm going to share what I do to handle or manage my depression. And of course, this is coming from somebody who is not a doctor, somebody who just has lived experience with depression. I was diagnosed with depression when I was 9 years old. Yes, I am medicated. I take 40 milligrams of Prozac and either 1 or 2 milligrams of Abilify. I should know that. And I was put on Prozac when I was 9 years old after I was diagnosed with depression. So this is something that I have lived with my entire life. And it is something that now I feel very confident in managing with the help of therapy and antidepressants and some of the tips that I'll get into right now. Number one, first way I handle this is radically accept that I am depressed. So often, I think we are encouraged both directly and indirectly to shake off depression. Oh, yeah, you're not depressed, or, yeah, everyone feels that way a little bit every now and then, blah, blah, blah. And we don't actually just acknowledge that, yeah, we are depressed. You are depressed. I am depressed. I radically accept that in my life, my relationship with this thing I call depression is going to ebb and flow and rear its ugly head throughout the year. And I radically accept that. When I radically accept something, though, it doesn't mean I love it. It doesn't mean that I'm even happy about it. But there is a peace and contentment that comes with just acknowledging the truth and understanding that I can only do so much and the rest I must accept. Much easier for me to say this than it is to probably do this. However, I think if people would start to radically accept some of the smaller things in their life, then it becomes easier to radically accept some of the bigger things in their life, like depression. Again, I want to belabor this point in saying that I'm not trying to say that radical acceptance means you're okay with all of this, or your depression isn't real, or depression doesn't hurt. It's all of those things. In fact, that's what I'm advocating for, is that we acknowledge that in its entirety and in its fullness, that this depression is real. It does hurt. And when we can sit there, when I can sit there and accept that, I go, okay, this is real. This is true. I accept this. Now I can move forward with a little more clarity, a little more peace, a little more contentment. Radical acceptance has been brought up by virtually every doctor I've talked to, and the applications are many. I invite you to learn more about that concept and see how you can apply it in your life. Of course, I hope you do it through MedCircle at medcircle.com, but you can do it anywhere you wish. Number 2 is a concept called behavioral activation. Behavioral activation is an approach to mental health that focuses on using behaviors to, quote, activate pleasant emotions. The idea is that I always have that one friend who loves to call me when I'm in the middle of a live stream. Can you believe that? The nerve. There we go. I'm on Do Not Disturb now. The idea is that by putting actions first, a person does not need to wait to feel motivated, but they can still gain the benefits that the action has on their well-being. I'm reading a quote from Medical News Today, Behavioral Activation and How It Works. I was taught this concept, I believe, first by triple board certified forensic and neuropsychologist, Dr. Judy Ho. And it's very simple to understand, which works really great for me. But one way that I can behaviorally activate is to go on a walk. Now, before you roll your eyes and go, oh my gosh, if one more person tells me to go on a walk when I'm depressed, I get it. But when you are depressed, when I'm depressed, I don't want to go on a walk, even though I know it's good for me. I don't want to get out of bed, even though I know it would probably be good for my overall health. But you do it anyway because you can't wait for the motivation to do it. That's not there. The depression zaps my motivation. Depression comes in and goes, you have no more motivation. That is gone. Okay. So if you rely on motivation to do the things that are good for you, you will be waiting forever to do those things. So instead, I take a cue from Nike and I just do it. You just force it. Even if you think, gosh, this is not going to be fun. It's like, have you ever heard of a cold plunge? Cold plunge, it's a bathtub filled with freezing cold water. You have to stay in there for, I don't know, a few minutes. It's terrible. I don't think anyone's like, oh, I love getting into a cold plunge. Maybe somebody is, but nobody I know. But it's still good for you. Afterwards, you feel better. Kind of modeling behavioral activation there. Don't want to do it. No, it's good for you. Going to do it anyway. Afterwards, you feel better. Man, a powerful thing where take the emotion out of it, take the motivation out of it. It's already gone, but take all of that away and just do the behavioral activation, do the activity and experience the benefit. The worst thing that would happen is you go on a walk and you come home and you're still depressed and you didn't like your walk. Okay, but you did something. You tried. You tried. Find that other thing. I don't think behavioral activation has to be in the form of just a physical exercise either. I think it's doing anything that we know the things that bring us value. Sitting for 6 hours and watching Netflix, do it, okay? I've done it, do it. Can't wait to do it again. But to use that as the behavioral activation, no. We want to go I think it's important to do things that we know have a little bigger benefit than that. Not that there's anything there is benefits from binging 6 hours of Netflix, I think. But going out on a walk, going out by the pool, going and playing with your dog, picking up the phone and calling a friend or a family member, doing all those things. If you don't want to do it, I don't want to talk to that person. I don't want to play with my dog. I don't want to go sit by the pool. Just do it anyway. Behavioral activation, do it anyway. It works. It works. It works. All right. So number one, radical acceptance. Number two, implement behavioral activations. Number three, focus on your distractions. Focus on your distractions. This almost sounds like an improbability to focus on a distraction. But what I mean by that is prioritize healthy distractions, healthy coping skills. I think just we are pros at distracting ourselves unintentionally, subconsciously. We're really good at burying ourselves in a tub of ice cream so we don't have to think about our depression. We're really good at getting a blanket and binging 6 hours of Netflix so we can just escape our problems. We're really good at distracting with less intention behind it. It's kind of just like the numbness, the autopilot of it all. Don't do the autopilot. Make a distraction so intentional that it becomes a healthy way to manage depression. That could look like I'm going to paint. I'm going to have this mindful activity of painting. It is so hard to learn how to paint and think about your depression or think about how things aren't going well or think about even what you have to do today because the distraction of painting requires your entire presence, your entire focus, the ultimate mindfulness activity. I used to call this, or I still do call it, but sometimes I'll refer to it as forced mindfulness because we always hear we need to be mindful. But it's hard to be mindful if you're just sitting by yourself. That's when it's hardest. I think that's like level 10 of mindfulness when you're just like, I'm mindful in the moment and nothing. That's great. Good job. You made it there. But for the rest of us, some of us need a little help to be mindful. That is where I think a forced mindfulness activity like painting, like knitting, like learning a dance, when you have to focus on this thing, by definition, it's almost impossible to not focus on this other thing. You can't be ruminating I can't ruminate on my negative thoughts if I'm trying to learn choreography because it requires all my attention. These types of intentional distractions can really give you a break from the rumination of a mental illness like depression. So I leverage these distractions by doing a few. One big distraction for me, forced mindfulness activity. I train my dog. She's well trained. I don't need to train her. She knows all the things she needs to know. But I can't teach her something new and be caught up in my depression. It's very hard. Actually, as I'm saying this out loud, this is like a behavioral activation in some ways. Even if you're not motivated to go train your dog, once you get into the training session, you're so focused, it's all of a sudden you do it for 15 minutes and then you end and you go, man, I just had a 15-minute break of not feeling depressed because I was so focused on the dog training. That's a win. That is such a win. These healthy, intentional distractions are such a win. Okay, so the recap. Number one, radical acceptance. I radically accept I'm depressed. That doesn't mean I love it. I'm happy about it. That doesn't mean I'm saying, well, I give up because I accept this. And quite the contrary, I accept it so I can pursue solutions. I accept this for exactly what it is in its entirety. I accept what I can control. I accept what I can't control. And I move forward with that acceptance. Powerful. Number two, behavioral activation. You don't have to wait to be motivated to do the thing that you know is good for you. If you're waiting to get motivated to go work out, if you're like me, you'll just never go work out. But if you just go work out and then you're in the workout and you're feeling the endorphins and you finish the workout and you feel good that you did it, all of a sudden you got all of those benefits of doing this activity that you weren't motivated to do in the first place, but you did it anyway and you got all those benefits. Behavioral activation, simple in concept, profound in its implications on your life. Dr. Judy taught me that. Number three, intentional distractions. We are going to distract ourselves from the problems in our life. That is what our brain wants to protect us, and it's going to distract us. It's going to get distracted. But let's try to have some moments of intentional distraction, healthy distraction, those forced mindfulness sessions, like learning choreography. Go on YouTube and go simple choreography. Stand up, learn that choreography. Do that for 15 minutes. At 15 minutes, you go, I haven't thought once about how I'm depressed. You still might be depressed afterwards, but you had a 15-minute break. Okay. I know I'm belaboring this point, but I get so amped up about it. So that final piece, just distractions. Take those, try them. If you love them, great. And think how beneficial this video was. If you go, that was lame. I hated all three of those. I tried them and I don't like them. Okay. Maybe you tried the wrong thing. You need to try another thing, but maybe that's just not for you. There is an endless list of ways to help yourself when you're struggling through feelings of depression. Those are just three that work for me. I would love to read in the comments any that work for you. It can be something small, something profound, something big, something tiny, something easy, something difficult, something you've been doing your whole life, something you're just trying to do and it may or may not work. Let's create a resource in the comment section for people. Just go, let me try that. Ooh, that's a good idea from this user. We can help each other right now. I gave my 3. What is your 1? I gave 3. What is your 1? Put it in the comment section on how you handle and manage whatever mental health struggle that you're going through. I really appreciate people watching this. It humbles me. I don't know why anyone would want to hear what I have to say, but I'm glad that at least some people do, and I hope it helps. I really do hope it is helpful. Of course, if you're looking for expert insight and actionable advice, Then, of course, I recommend the MedCircle doctors. You can actually talk with them every week when you're a MedCircle member. You can go learn more about our membership offerings using the links below this video or at medcircle.com. Thank you guys so much for giving me the chance to speak with you today. My name's Kyle, and remember, whatever you're going through, you got this.